What's the craziest thing you've seen while flying?
I got to watch a SpaceX shuttle launch from overhead. We wanted to watch a rocket launch, so we protected the airspace. You're welcome for my service.
All right, guys, welcome back to the Bad Thoughts podcast. Today we have another special guest, two of them today. We got Micah over here below me. How you doing, Micah? How's everything, bro?
I'm well if you are.
I'm doing good, bro. And we got we got a first time on the show. We got Austin, aka Two Man. How you doing, brother?
I'm just north of Super.
Nah.
Oh my God.
Yours is worse.
Oh man. Yeah, today we're gonna talk about flying, and Austin flies F-16s. Micah's a commercial airline pilot, so we're gonna get into a little bit of that. And yeah, how you doing, Candy Camper? How's everything, bro?
Yeah, I'm doing all right. Just a weird day. Did a little bit of this, did a little bit of that. But the crazy thing is, once again, we got into this weird candy topic. So now that I got you both here, I'm gonna ask you guys some questions.
It always has to refer to candy. It's like
it is. We all love candy. Everyone eats candy. Even if you don't eat candy, you still like candy. So I'm gonna ask you guys, what is your one go-to candy bar? Like if you're to go in the store and you saw the whole candy shelf and you have to grab one, what are you grabbing? Candy bar.
Bar. That's fucking weird.
Snickers.
What? Snickers?
Snickers.
No, I feel like I usually do Twix.
Twix?
Yeah.
Okay.
Twix is easy.
So what do you walk away from? Like so now you got this bag of candy that you buy for Halloween. So we're going to go the Halloween candy bag that has the weird ass shit in it, like the fucking Almond Joys, the Milk Duds, all those weird shit. What's the one that you're grabbing out of those candy bars? No Snickers in that bag.
Like thrown away
bars, or butter. You had to eat
it was like it's like the last candy in there.
Oh man, I have a weird relationship. I love Milk Duds; they taste amazing, but then I regret it for the next 30 minutes, and then I eat them again, and I just go back to it.
Especially for those Halloween candies.
Milk Duds stay around the whole 30 minutes.
They don't go away. I think they're still with me since my
I feel like it's kind of
a
rare candy. Like you don't just go somewhere and get Milk Duds unless you're going like the movie theater or the dollar store.
Yeah, like
I would never buy Milk Duds.
Charleston cheese. That's weird.
Yeah.
So there's always those candies. So what about you, Micah?
Mounds. I like Mounds.
Dude. I can't do it.
That's random, dude. I don't think I've ever had a Mound.
Is a Mound the same as a Crow?
Weird. No, Mound is the almondless Almond Joy.
Okay, so what am I thinking? The black ones that are like they're like little round thing, like the crows, right? Or black crows, or they taste like licorice.
No idea.
All I know is that Mounds doesn't have chicken in it.
No. This isn't a bar. This is not a bar. This one actually looks like caps, like those white caps or whatever they're called, with the little.
The white ones.
They're black with little white dots all over them.
I think
those are fucking disgusting.
I don't know that one.
That's what I'm talking about. That's the old people candy. Fucking Neckos. If someone's giving out Neckos for Halloween,
I hate Neckos.
Just go back.
Yeah.
I think Almond Joy is like the fucking worst thing you can ever eat, dude. I'm not a fan of fucking coconut, so I guess that's why. But
which is weird. You look at someone that like coconut.
Why? Because I'm fat. It's fucked up, dude.
Ooh.
It's fucked up, bro.
Shut down.
God, dude. I thought we were family, bro.
Yeah, that's why we're keeping it real with each other.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But it makes sense now. You don't like coconut. You don't like pineapple on your pizza. I get it.
Okay.
He's just racist towards Hawaiians.
Yeah, you feel me? Oh no, I'm not. That was referred to me, right?
I don't know anymore.
I'm like 1% Hawaiian, dude.
Counts.
I lived in Hawaii with Micah for a month, so I'm also 1% Hawaiian.
You got the counts.
Yeah.
I had neighbors from Hawaii, and I've been to Hawaii, so we're all Hawaiian. I think that's how it works.
I've eaten a Dole pineapple before.
A Dole pineapple? What was that like?
How did that?
I'm Hawaiian. It was great.
Was it good?
Was it you, Micah, that was telling us before that you can't go?
Yeah, I was like, why does Dole pineapple sound familiar? I was like, oh yeah, because we talked about it last week.
Yeah, that was
like
great.
a $500 fine.
That's $500
pineapple.
Wait, you was familiar because the podcast, not because you lived there and that's like 90% of the identity of the Hawaiian island.
No,
is the Dole
I had
pineapple.
deja vu. I was like, why does Dole pineapple sound so familiar on this podcast? And I was like, oh, because we
Okay.
talked about it before.
So living in Hawaii, how many Hawaiians like native a day do you think you actually talk to or
Oh,
pass by?
less than 10, 15%.
That's crazy.
Damn, dude, that many tourists there?
It's mostly Japanese, mostly Asian, and then the rest is just American. You know, just haoles.
Do you feel like
Howleys?
people get trapped there?
Austin's like Austin is a haole.
A huge Hallie.
And
Yeah.
I identify as a Hallie.
when you go there, do people talk about like they don't like when tourists come to Hawaii? Because I've heard like they don't like when tourists come because
They like to, but then they fail to realize that their entire economy relies on these haoles.
Tourism.
So,
gotcha.
like,
Hallie?
yeah, as long as you respect the land, you're good. But then you're still gonna go to that beach that's off the beaten path where people will be like, "What are you doing here?"
Damn, like secret fucking beaches
Yeah,
and
like
shit.
secret beach, like where the good stuff is, or the good food, or yeah, just. I mean, I experienced it, and I was little. I was born there, so it's like it's all just optics.
Yeah, that's funny.
But
See,
yeah,
I think
I brought Austin there for a month to fuel helicopters and learn how to fly, and that was great.
Is that how you guys
We
you
met?
gotta lean into it though.
Dude, we almost met Angelina Jolie. I'll never forget that.
That would have been
Oh,
cool. Was she
yeah.
filming?
She was, remember Unbroken, the movie?
Yeah.
Almost met
Mhm.
us.
Yeah, she was met us. Yeah.
Lucky lady.
I
She
feel
missed
like
out.
Hawaiians lean into their culture. Like, you know, they're very cultural, but they also lean into it to show everybody. Like out of all the countries I've been to and states and all that, like anywhere you go what has some kind of culture, I feel like Hawaii was the one place where I went that they push Hawaiian culture at you and want you to be a part of it. And I felt like it was very inviting, even though it was kind of touristy, you know, but they still did a really good job at making it like you see it in the movies. This is what we're going to give you, but we still actually do this.
Yeah, I think it's all part of the sell. Like
Mhm.
it's all part of the, like we're trying to, the more you spend, like we're trying to make you buy into it, basically.
Well, damn, we bought into it, and we got a
Yeah.
a
What do you
big
mean
ass
we?
luau. I want my dad.
You're Micah, you're like barely Hawaiian, buddy. I feel like anybody who's Hawaiian is like this Howie needs to shut the fuck up.
No, dude, the crazy thing is I did the 23andMe and it turns out that like my mom is a quarter Hawaiian, and it turns
I'm
out
sorry, you did what?
the 23andMe like genetic DNA test thing.
Oh, I thought that was something completely different.
No. And apparently it's diluted way more. So I'm not even like 10% Hawaiian. So you are correct. I'm sure there's someone going, "What the fuck?"
I know I'm right. I know it.
So where did you guys meet at? How'd you guys meet?
Oh, I remember the very first time I met you so well. This is one of the funniest things I've ever remember from high school. Sitting in freshman theology class, Mr. Taylor's class. It was like day 2
Good
of
old
theology,
Ed.
and I'm sitting there trying to figure out what the hell theology is. And I hear in like the very back of the room, just so faintly, hopped off the plane at LAX with a dream of my cardigan.
No
Like,
fucking way.
what the fuck is that? Like, why is Miley Cyrus or Hannah Montana? You don't know who it is at the moment, but why is she playing? I look around and like the song keeps playing, and I'm like, I'm not. Maybe it's outside. I look around, like, jumped in the cab, here I am, and I'm like, dude, that's in the room. That's like 100% in the room. I turn around and I look in Micah's backpack. I can see like in his backpack, Miley Cyrus is playing off his phone in his backpack. I'm like,
Whoops.
dude, you need to pause
Dude,
right
that song
now.
plays today. Everyone's dancing. It's a good song.
Okay, go ahead and defend yourself immediately. But this is freshman year of high school and an all boys Catholic high school.
Yeah. No, that was
You would have been
embarrassing.
kicked out of the school if they heard you playing.
I think I didn't. I knew it was playing. I was just hoping that someone didn't hear it and then it would stop playing. But you
Dude,
heard it
brutal,
and then
brutal song
got
to play for
embarrassed.
day 2 of an all boys Catholic high school. So I was like, This dude is the weirdest guy I have ever met.
Yeah.
Where'd
Yeah.
you
Probably
guys go to
two
school at?
Junipero Serra. Junipero Serra in San Antonio.
Damn, dude, I passed by there so many times.
Tom Brady's high school.
Mm-hmm.
No big deal.
Tom Brady. I know that guy.
He's a football
also-
player.
Oh,
He
I
is
thought you-
not dating Taylor Swift
I know,
Or
right?
Giselle anymore.
Anymore, right?
She's
So he's
free.
single.
Yeah, no, it was real cool. No, I really like that school. Like, a lot of people give you shit for being
loved
at an
it.
all boys school. Like, oh, there's no girls, but
But doesn't that mean there's an all-girls school nearby?
Too.
yeah,
So that
But-
works out. They're good.
yeah. But I just like the dynamic of all guys because it's just
Oh yeah,
so much.
he
so
sure
much,
does.
So
He
much.
really does.
All that testosterone in one
Yeah.
room.
Just so many dudes.
You're that
Worked out
Taylor
for
Swift brother. Oh, excuse me, Hannah Montana. My
Yeah,
bad.
Santa Montana.
Hannah
He was trying to
Montana,
weed
I'm
out who his friends would be right away. He's like, "Who's down? Who here?"
I know,
The
right?
one dude in the back.
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
Thought it
That was
awesome,
during the
though.
time that like that show was still running. That was awesome.
Yeah.
Now, did
I'm
you
not
watch?
gonna lie,
Did you
I
watch?
loved me some Hannah Montana, dude. Like, it was a great
I
show.
did
All
too.
those Disney shows at that time was fucking hilarious. What's the one with the chick that dated The Weeknd? Wizards of Waverly Place. That
Oh
show was
yeah,
fucking hilarious.
Sweet Life of Zach and Cody.
Another one.
Yeah,
I like
that
Sweet
one was
Life on
good.
Deck too. I think it was good.
Oh
Drake
yeah,
and
that was
Josh.
great.
Drake and
You know what I
Josh. He's a
didn't
creep,
do?
but we like it.
I didn't play Hannah Montana in my freshman high school class. That's what I didn't do.
I never done
Yeah.
that. I didn't even know that was Hannah
Yeah.
Montana until you said that. By the way, just throwing
Yeah.
that out there.
Yeah, I don't think I did either.
Bad first
Yeah.
impression. It haunts
It's
me.
okay.
It
That's the
haunts
reason we're
me.
still friends.
Well, look.
Nah.
Yeah, I'll say. Yeah, look at this. See, and not only that, like, do you still listen to it?
No.
I actually listen to it now. He's right. It's taken off. Now you can get people moving with a little bit of Party in the USA. Ooh.
Now, was it just a coincidence that you guys both became pilots, or did you guys have any kind of influence on each other becoming pilots?
It was kind of like have you ever seen the interview with the Henry Cavill with The Witcher and the guy who plays Dandelion? And then they ask him like, "So what do you do in your free time?" And Henry
Like
Cavill,
League of Legends
do-
and shit.
"Yeah, I do Warhammer." And then
Oh, yeah, there you go.
And then the guy who plays Dandelion is like, "Oh, what army are you rolling?" And then Henry Cavill is like, "Custodes." "Oh, I'm doing Necrons." And then he goes, "Should we?" "Yeah." And then so it's just like, I think the Party in the USA, and then I don't even know how it happened, but I think
We met playing
eventually-
video games.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We became friends playing like COD 4. I think it's COD 4 or Modern Warfare 2.
Speaking of COD, what's your favorite?
Ooh, probably 4. That was like my gateway video game. I haven't
Okay.
changed. I have not been the same since I played COD 4.
Yeah.
What about you,
Yeah,
Mike?
Ran the
original.
LAN cable down the bedroom.
Right.
Yeah.
Modern Warfare 2 for sure. I remember
too.
like waiting in line at GameStop for that. I've never done that before.
What was that?
Waited in line at GameStop for Modern
A
Warfare 2.
Jello shot?
Oh.
Jello shot? Okay.
Yeah, Halloween leftovers.
Halloween leftovers. So we're just
Yeah,
gonna
let
throw
'em go
this
back.
down now. Every time someone says the word pilot, you have to throw back a Jello shot.
I'm gonna die. I don't know. There's not a lot of alcohol in these. But have you ever
Austin,
had
come on,
15
Jell-O.
shots of Jello?
Sounds like a
It
good
hurts.
night.
That's a lot.
Going back to the Call of Duty thing, like, what was like an iconic gun that you like wished or that you always used, and then something like a gun they always like, or excuse me, weapon that you just wanted to like see in every game. Like, if you could just pick one weapon.
ACR for me,
Dude,
ACR.
Oh, yeah.
ACR.
ACR is so
Scar.
good.
dude. It was
ACR.
disgusting.
Scar was good. If you got the recoil down in the Scar, dude, that
Oh,
iron
yeah.
sight was beautiful.
The iron
Such a-
that
You know
iron
the,
sight was the best iron sight of all.
I
know
agree.
the,
It was so good.
The Doof Doof from Modern Warfare.
Yeah,
have
the
garage.
P99 or some shit.
The side-by-side shotgun that shot
Yeah,
two.
yeah.
That one's good.
oh.
Yeah, I own
What
that
else did I
shotgun.
like?
It's awesome.
I think we mentioned this in previous episode. The A12s, akimbos were the dumbest akimbos and so overpowered you can possibly use, dude. They were so
Or
fucking dumb.
what about the like the
Oh
The
yeah,
18.
yeah. The
those are
models,
good.
dude.
Those,
Yeah.
yeah,
Dude,
the
you could
Mondo.
blast
What's
them
it
from
called?
hella far with them. Yeah,
Yep.
Those are
model
good.
1886 or something.
Yeah,
I
there you
don't
go.
know,
That's what it
something
was.
like that. I was a fan of the Commando for a while, and I think we asked them that too. Like the Black Ops, what was it, Black Ops 1 or Black Ops 2? Black Ops 1.
Oh yeah, yeah.
The
Yep.
Commando was
Right.
like you were either a Commando player or you were a AK-47 player. And then if you were the
Yeah.
weirdo, you kind of snuck around with the AK-47U, which is the
That
best.
gun
Yeah.
was actually pretty good.
It was
Modern
good.
It
Warfare
wasn't
2.
bad. Yeah,
Lightweight.
I
You can run
agree.
fast.
Yeah, such a good game. I don't know. I feel like just kind of it's not the same anymore. But
It's not.
No, I stopped playing it. I play Battlefield now.
see, I'm telling you, Tones, everyone's moving over to Battlefield. Once after 4 years of Battlefield, you're like it's like a brand new game again. You can just jump right in.
Yeah. Well, but that's the thing. Like, Call of Duty never had any like replayability for more than a couple months. But Battlefield, like, I find myself playing that way more often than I ever did with Call of Duty.
See, the thing I liked about Battlefield was sniping. Sniping was pretty fun in
The
Battlefield,
drop.
but yeah, I guess it was just the game modes that just threw me off. Like fucking what was it, like 50 versus 50? Like it just got boring after a while.
The maps are really
Everything's
big
battle
for the
royales
amount of
now.
people on them.
Yeah, I see. Kenny Camper doesn't like battle royale. He just never got into it, which is normal. But a
It's
lot
not.
of people nowadays. Well, yeah, there's
I
more
feel like it
people
was-
playing battle royale now.
Yeah,
Because it's free.
more
Like the
of a
normal
If it wasn't
brand.
free, people want to play it. If it was not
Yeah.
free,
That's true.
people would
Apex.
not be playing it. Exactly.
Yeah, it's good. Free games are better. It's better than the $70 games that you play twice and realize it's unfinished and you have to wait 4 years for them to patch it up.
Yeah.
Battlefield.
Annoying.
Yep.
Battlefield. Yes.
Oh man. So Austin, I wanted to talk to you about how you got into flying F-16s. What made you go to that particular plane?
That's so when I was living in California with Micah, I knew I wanted to be a pilot for a while. And then when his uncle let me
That's
go
a
with
shot,
him to
bro.
Hawaii. Yeah. I'll give you this one. You get one because I've got 3 more sitting in front of me. I hope you're all ready to wait for 3 minutes.
Yeah, you're good.
There we go.
Oh, that looks slimy.
Do you swallow the whole thing or do you chew it? I don't know what to do.
Whatever you're into.
It's like noodles. You whatever whatever happens
Just think
first.
back to high school days.
It's 2016. You can do whatever you want these days. Yeah, so I got Micah's uncle let me go fly with him. And that was like the first, I guess, fly with Micah in Hawaii. That's how I got my pilot's license. That was like my introduction, and that was when I realized that I could actually become a pilot. I was like, I could probably do this. So I remember San Francisco does Fleet Week. I don't know if you all know what that is.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Like the Navy comes in. Well, they had a F-16 demonstration there that was super cool, and it kind of drew my attention to becoming a fighter pilot. But I know most people, and I even thought this through freshman year, everyone thinks you have to be like super wicked smart and like good at math and all that stuff. I think Micah hit on that a lot last time. He talked to you guys that you don't need to be good at math. So once I figured out you don't need to be good at math, I kind of went headstrong and trying to become a pilot. So Mike and I did ROTC together freshman year of college at CU Boulder. And then his chicken allergy ultimately got him kicked out because you know how dangerous that is to pilots in the Air Force.
That still surprises me, bro. I had no idea.
Surprises everyone. Everyone I've ever talked to about it is like, that is ridiculous.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I did ROTC, and then once I graduated, got picked up for a pilot slot out of ROTC. And then from there, it's like a competition. It's like getting drafted kind of into like a sports team. So at pilot training, you start with performance-based flights, and it's like every single time you fly is kind of like a final exam.
Mhm.
So it's stressful, man. It is so stressful because like you're cramming books and books worth of information in just like days. It's kind of like you're kind of like a lawyer in the amount of content you need to know, and like the amount of just numbers and statistics and all that
That
stuff like
word.
Micah knows. Yeah, you're one to talk with you. So you're just reading a lot, and then you get quizzed on it, and then there's like a lot of ground stuff. Micah talks a lot about oral exams. I know he really likes those. So he was talking a lot about how stressful those are, which is valid, and that's a lot of it. So you graded on all that, and then at the end of the day, there's a flying. So I started out in the T6, which is a two-seater, like high-performance propeller plane. It's kind of like a P-51 Mustang. It's like super high-powered, really aerobatic, fun to fly. But you always have an instructor with you, so they're always evaluating you, always seeing how well you're doing. All that goes into your performance, which is how they decide what plane you fly. When I went through, halfway through, they say you're either going to go fly fighter bomber or you're going to go fly cargo planes. And I got picked up to go to the fighter route. It was me and 7 other people out of our like 30-person class.
Damn.
And then you do that. That was like 6 months of flying the T-38, which is terrifying plane. It's probably the worst plane I've ever flown. It is like, it hates to fly. It is really underpowered. It's cool to fly like a fighter type plane, but it's probably the worst fighter type plane you can fly.
Is it small? Is it like
it is
small?
small?
Is that
Yeah.
why?
The wingspan's tiny. It was like in the 60s they designed a plane. They're like, we need to design a plane that can go supersonic. I'm like, well, should it be safe to fly? Like, doesn't matter. We don't care about that. Like, should it be easy to land? Like, no, that's completely irrelevant. Like, well, should it go fast in the speed of sound? Like, yes, that's the only thing we care about, is make sure it goes
Damn.
fast. And they made the T-38. So at the end of that, I put my, like, you put a wish list up, and like, here's all the planes I want to fly, 1 through 40 in the Air Force. My list, my top 3 were A-10s, F-16s, and F-15Es, and I ended up getting F-16s.
Nice.
Which was, we didn't have any A-10s drop in our class, but now looking back, I'm super happy I'm not flying the A-10 because I love my plane for a lot of reasons.
So how long have you been flying?
Like 5 years.
5 years.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Now, from when you first started to what the plane you're in now, what was the time difference in that? Like, how long did it take you to get that?
I started like 6 months after I graduated college in 2017, and then I flew the F-16 for the first time in 2019. So 2 years.
So
okay.
You mentioned that Micah's uncle trained you, or like you went to the classes. How many times, like going to Micah now, how many times have you been with someone that wanted to be, like a fighter jet pilot? You don't have to take a shot, but instead of like commercial, or is that not something that's said when they start training? Is it just they want to learn how to fly, and then whatever path they go?
Yeah, like Austin was kind of like a rare case, because most people that come to like a local flight school, I would say over 90, I don't know, like 99% want to be airline pilots. I don't think I never had a student that's like, okay, I want to just get my private and then go to Air Force, because you cannot be a fighter pilot without going through the military training. So you either go to the civilian training to be an airline pilot, or you go to the military training to be a fighter pilot. And then once you're out of the military, most pilots in the military become airline pilots, just because you have the skills, the talent, the requirements, the licenses. So why not?
Yes.
So can he go? Is it easier for him to go backwards than forwards?
This guy got licenses by taking a written, but because his training is so rigorous, his training is, I would say, is definitely more rigorous than the civilian route. I think maybe once you get to the airlines, now they're kind of both at the same rigor, or the training at least, because it's just like drinking from a fire hose once you get to the airlines. But because his training was so much more rigorous than the civilian route, you can just go to the local FAA office, take a written test, and get the FAA equivalent license that I have.
So would he start as a co-pilot still, or would he be able to go right into pilot status? Or is that just years? You need years for that, right? Like you're saying last time.
He flies by himself, so he's the pilot in command. But once he comes to the airlines that I work at, he will You have to start as a first officer, and
Okay.
then work your way up to captain.
Wow.
Our career paths have been pretty funny. I use Micah a lot. Like, I'd say honestly, once a week he comes up because I always mention how me and my buddy graduated high school together, both want to be pilots together, and we have parallel careers from like the get go. Like, you say start, we're both starting our careers. It's been really funny how for like the first 3 years of my career, I took off. Like, I literally and figuratively, I had a lot more flying, way more training. I had more hours. I was doing like way more. And like you said, my training was just way more intense. And then like year 4, we kind of like meet. So like he catches up, and now we're both at the same point. He was flying for SkyWest and doing all that. And then we started like balancing out a little bit. And now with his job and his current airlines, he has surpassed my hours by like 2 or 3 times. And I've kind of like plateaued in my Air Force career in terms of where I am flying. But I always use him like, yeah, my buddy I graduated high school with is a first officer at an airline, and I'm still just how many of those are alone?
Now, when you're all said and done, is that something you're gonna do? Is go to an airline and do that?
Yeah, probably. It's a really easy. Like you said, it's only the hardest part, and we talk about this a lot, is I fly alone every time, which is it's like I don't know. If you ever had your wife in your car with you and like she says some stupid shit like look out for that traffic merge, and you're like, yeah, I can see it. I've seen it for the past 2 miles. Like, I'm not gonna hit the traffic, and you get in this like little argument. Now the next 2 hours of the road trip's really awkward because you yelled at each other. Like, damn, I wish I did this road trip alone. Yeah, I fly alone every single time, so I don't have that like person trying to tell me what to do.
And oh my god, there are captains that I fly with, especially when you're new. I would say when you're new, maybe 50% of the time, 60% of the time, they like when I was an instructor, I wouldn't say anything until the student took it to the absolute limit where I had to intervene, because they don't learn that way.
That's true.
So when you get to the airlines, because we're talking about 180 people behind you, and it's it's just so much more fast paced, and it's like no joke, right? So when you're new as a first officer flying with the captains, like you'll be flying, like I'll be flying, and then they'll like interject before, like let me like kind of like learn what I could be doing better. But it's so hard to learn when you're new and they're saying, hey, do this, or it's better if we do this, or it's better if we do this, when I would say maybe half the time it's like, dude, let me just fly the plane. I'm not doing anything wrong. It's just my technique. I want to get configured at 4 miles. You want to get configured at 3 miles. I don't. That's just a dumb example.
So it's almost like it's impossible to kind of learn on your own because they're just always correcting you for what you do.
It's just. I would say the vast majority of captains are not like this. It's just when you are with those captains for 4 days, 3 days at a time, it's just like, oh, like I'll do my walk around every time we land and get to the gate. I'll do my walk around, and in my head, I'm just like, it's like I don't know what it is. It's like when someone tells you how to fly, it's kind of like, I don't know. It's just part of who we are, and it's just like it's very annoying. If I'm doing something wrong, please like speak up, tell me. But if I'm just doing something technique wise that at the end the mission's still gonna get completed, it's just not how you want it to be done, or I'm being a little bit slower than you because you've been doing this for 20 years and I've only been flying this plane for 3 months. Like, it's just, yeah. So I like Austin saying that's going to be the hardest part for him, is because and the captain is you cannot be that guy that's like, shut the fuck up, because he's the captain. So it's his plane. He has the authority. He's the one in command. Now you guys are a crew. You should be a team, and most captains recognize that. Like, I've corrected so many captains before too, but
it's also your life. Like, if this guy's gonna fuck up your shit, honestly, I don't give a fuck who you are. Like, fuck you, dude.
Yeah.
Pull up. I'm using terms that I don't see in movies. Pull up, bro. Like, come on. Yeah. No, I got this. No, fuck you. I'm gonna take over.
So real quick, I just want to ask this since we're on the captain. So when you're flying with the captain and you're the first officer, is there times where you fly with them for like past those 4 days? Like, is there captain and
I've
first officers that
no,
fly for a
dude, it's
long
crazy.
time? Or?
I've never flown with a captain twice.
Wow.
Like
Yeah,
out
And
of your whole
is that
airline.
common?
maybe like once or twice. It's just that there's so many pilots, there's so many captains that, yeah, I maybe like 2 or 3 times I've flown with the same guy, but no, it's usually always a different captain.
So what's the chances of you two flying together in the same plane? Like you
Oh,
become a captain and then
he
he
needs
just
to
comes
work at
in.
the same airline.
That's what I'm saying. But
Plus,
you never.
when I go to the airline, he'll be probably. Actually, I don't think he'll be.
Or I don't know. It's hard. It's maybe I don't know.
Can you
I'll
request?
be senior.
There's a chance I could be his first mate.
Can you request somebody? So like say you're the captain and you like working with a certain first officer.
How our schedules work is we bid for our schedules, so it's off of seniority.
Okay.
So whoever's the most senior gets the first pick in the schedule, and then bottom guy in the whole list out of like tens of
Put your
thousands,
pen down, you
10,000
goon.
pilots. Sorry, out of 10,000 pilots.
Fucking weirdo.
I don't even know where this
Taking
came
notes?
from.
Now he needs
You
to
know it over there.
I can't let go of it now. Out of out of 10,000 pilots, the bottom guy will get the last pick. So, and we can buddy bid. So like I can say, hey, my preference is to fly with this guy, or you can bid a void if you don't like the guy.
Oh, wow.
So that's why you haven't flown with the same person, right?
I've only yeah.
Can't stand this dude.
only,
He's trying to tell me to put my fucking gear down.
He keeps telling me to pull up.
yeah.
You know what that means?
I've only
We're
bid a
flying
void
level.
one guy.
What's that?
I've only bid a void one guy.
What's his name?
You want to call him that?
I actually forget. Wow.
Now, how Austin? How much longer do you think you'll be flying F-16s? Do you have like some kind of? I was just saying, do you have some kind of contract, or how does that work?
Yeah, it's a 10-year contract when you graduate from pilot training. So I have about 4 years left in my contract.
Do you think you'd
I can
ever
always
renew, or are you going to be done?
No, I will not. I probably won't renew, but I could do guard and reserves are a great option. So I was just at a reserve base for 4 years, and they were in Fort Worth, which is awesome. I loved it there. Really wish I could have stayed there, but that's how it works in the Air Force. You move bases. But 99% of the people who I worked with also worked at airlines, and most of them actually worked at the same airline as Micah, but a lot of them do both. So they work at the airlines, and then once a month they'll go fly F-16s and stay tactically proficient.
What kind of?
Do you think you could fit?
Oh, go ahead.
Do you think you could fit 2 planes in your head if you did guard?
Yeah, your plane's easy, buddy.
Oh.
Yeah, you got to worry about 100 and something passengers, but you know.
What was the question you asked him?
I couldn't. It was always hard for me to.
He was asking if I could fit 2 planes in my Nugget. If I could remember 2 different planes.
Oh, yeah. Gotcha. Okay.
Because once you get to the airlines, it's all like flows and procedures, and it's like every different plane has different switches and buttons and flows. So it's
like where I struggle, where it's hard for me, I think if you separate those 2 planes, they're very different, extremely different. Where it's hard for me is that I just flew Block 30 SKU F-16s in Fort Worth, and now I'm flying Block 42 MMC jets in New Mexico, which are like, it's like working on a Adobe Illustrator for your whole career on a PC, and then the next day being like, here's your Mac, now you have to work on Adobe in the same way. Like, it's the same program and it should be the same, but now the operating system's different, the controls are different, the clicks are different. Like, that's where it gets confusing me, is the ops limits are different for the engine. So it's the same plane. I'm looking at the same symbology, like somewhat same symbology. Kind of, it's almost like the way I've been describing to people. It's like, yeah, I mean, flying here is about the same, but it's like buying an off-brand Coca-Cola from Walmart and being like, it kind of tastes like Coke, and it's there, but like I can't quite figure it out.
Yeah.
Now,
Well, that's a good segue, Austin. Tell the people about BFM between Block 42 and Block 30 and all that. What you just gave a lot of acronyms.
The DCS nerds are hopping in now. They're like, oh baby, I don't know. What do you want to know?
I mean, we honestly don't.
Clear.
Me and Candy Camper have no idea what those.
No
letters are.
idea. All I know is that it's badass, and who cares because it's badass. But what I do want to know is, how do you learn how to shoot them? Like, how do you learn
I thought you were
to
gonna ask
shoot?
me how to pee in the plane. I was like, oh, I'm ready for this one.
Here we go.
Yeah.
I think that's more important. Fuck shooting shit.
No, I'll start with the first one. The base I'm at here is the training base for F-16. So this is, you go to my base to learn how to fly the F-16, and I'm going to be an instructor for the people learning how to fly. The way it typically works is just like it's building a block approach. So people, when they show up to this base, they've never flown an F-16, never set foot in the plane. So you start off with like, how do you start the plane, and what are the operating limits of the plane? And the first like 5 or 6 flights, you don't even know the weapon systems at all. So it's just an instrument airplane with a pretty shitty instrument airplane, but all you're doing is learning how to fly an ILS, fly an instrument approach, and fly.
What's an ILS?
Yeah, you're one to talk. There's a sidebar. He does a lot of instrument flying and like very procedural flying, whereas we don't. So we don't know that stuff. Like I have to I'll ask him questions pretty often about how to fly procedures, because we have a lot of other stuff we worry about.
Okay.
Like the students, when they show up here, just got from pilot training, that's all they know. So they're really good at flying procedures like an airline pilot would, like approach plates. They know how to read all those and how to do full procedure ILS approaches. I don't know. They can do all that stuff, but that's like the first 7 flights here. So you just learn how to fly the plane, and you start to like build up to it. So the first tactical flight you do is BFM, which is just one-on-one, like you versus me. I will put you in an offensive position. You're behind me. All you have to do is kill me, and that's, you do three of those flights. So you start at different distances away from each other, but like, hey man, you have all the advantage in the world. I'm thrust limited. You have more power. You have the offensive position. You have everything. Just kill me. And then you learn how to pull the person the heads-up display and how to kill them. These jets are super, super smart, and they know how to calculate lead of gunshots and how fast the adversary is going and what angle of bank they are. So it'll give you a little dot in your heads-up display that shows you exactly where to put them to shoot them. And all you have to do is pull them to the dot. Those flights that's like one of the biggest learning curves, is learning how to do that, because it's very close. It's kind of like a knife fight in a phone booth. So you're like very close together. It's very intimate, and there's a high potential for them to run into you, and for you to not notice that they're, about to run into you. So that's like one of the biggest concerns for us teaching them. But yeah, then you move on from there. So you go to like beyond visual range engagements. You do air to ground stuff. You learn how to shoot the ground. You learn how to drop a bomb. You learn how to do that. It's just like slowly builds on each other until all of a sudden you can do like the most basic one-on-one attack to now you're flying 80 miles into a surface-to-air missile engagement zone, but also have to shoot down 2 other airplanes before you get there. And then, by the way, you're going to drop bombs on 6 different targets. You're going to turn around. There's going to be more adversaries on the way out that you have to kill before you can leave. And it just it builds up until you get these crazy, crazy scenarios that are super fun.
Now, when you
how
see,
often are those though? Sorry, Tones, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was gonna ask, like, how often are you in those? And if you can talk about it, how often are you in those scenarios where you're like, "Fuck, there's like 40 planes." Like, when you see the Guardians of the Galaxy and all those motherfuckers come floating in, and there's fucking shit flying everywhere.
Those are the best flights. So red flag happens in Vegas all the time. That's a huge exercise, international exercise with hundreds of planes. Like, it's a full out mini like war that happens every once in a while. For me, it's really weird to think about, but like when I'm doing a flight that's just a training sortie for me, like if I'm learning how to be a flight lead, there could be me and I could be leading 3 other F-16s on my wing. So I'm telling them what to do. and then we have 6 other F-16s as bad guys, and then we could have maybe 4 F-15s flew down to join in on the fight, and then we have an AWACS that's out there, and we could have people on the ground that are also helping up. You could have like 20 planes just for like one dude to have one flight. By the way, you might also fail that ride. So if you fail the ride, you have to do it again. That's like, that comes up in the debrief. Like, dude, do you know how many millions of dollars you wasted just hook this ride? Do you understand? Like, I'm sorry, I'm stupid. I don't know. I'm trying my best.
So I got one more for you because I'm very curious. Can you feel the difference between Mach 1 and Mach 2?
No, you can't even feel the difference between 0.99 Mach and 1.0 Mach, which is actually, it causes a lot of problems because in Texas, for example, we weren't supposed to go supersonic below 30,000 feet. But like if you point at the ground and you're an afterburner and you're not paying attention, it's the difference between like 2 seconds and 3.5 seconds, and all of a sudden you're screaming at the ground at 1.5 Mach, and you're like, oh boy, we're gonna get a lot of really angry calls about this one.
So I got a question about that, especially like when you watch like these movies like Top Gun, like are you like punching the air because it's so dumb, or is it something pretty accurate?
Top Gun 1's stupid. Top Gun 2 is actually pretty good. I
Yeah.
liked that movie. They did a
yeah.
good enough job where it was like in the ballpark. It was like, this is pretty
Mhm.
fun. I like this. So
Like-
much so that actually I made a profile. I made that flight for us in the F-16. So we went out and did like what they did to like test it and see if it would work. And you could do it, but theoretically you could do it. It was just like,
Yeah, like
with
that
their
10
jet and their,
like
yeah.
the 10G thing, is that something that is doable?
Were they doing 9, 8 or
It-
9? I don't know.
5,
What was it?
9.5?
9 or 9.5, something like
Oh,
that.
okay, yeah.
I think it was 9 because our jet is a 9G jet. We can do 9Gs and not over-G it. But the problem was they had the bombs on the jet. And when you have a 2,000-pound bomb on your wing, you're not over-G'ing the plane, you're over-G'ing the pylon, and essentially you're going to rip the wings off. So when they're doing that, they're like, yeah, we're just going to do it for training. I was like, like hell you are. If you over-G'd that jet, that thing's in depot and not seeing the light of day for like 3 or 4 months at best. Like,
How about that Mach 10 10-degree bank turn?
Yeah, that's
Remember
fucking
probably do that.
when that happened in the movie, we saw a Top Gun for my bachelor party with Austin and family
Oh
and
yeah,
friends.
yeah, that's right.
And when Tom Cruise is at Mach 10 and he does that turn, both Austin and I go, ooh.
Oh yeah, that's right. He's at Mach 10. He makes a turn. He does a turn and like does like a high G turn.
yeah.
And when you're going that fast, if you did a turn like that, you would become ashes in seconds.
Yeah.
Like, there's no fucking way.
Now
But it was good. I like that movie.
when you were
Yeah, those are
training
pretty good.
and you had to deal with those G's for the first time. Was that something that was hard to do? Like, how was that kind of training for you?
I actually have a video on my Instagram that you were talking about. It's me doing the 9Gs for the first time. And there's people that do better at it. So if you're shorter and thicker, you do better than G's with G's than if you're taller and skinnier. So the 2 times I've been in the centrifuge, I walk in and everybody in the room's like, "Oh shit, here we go. We got a tall, skinny guy. Like, roll the medics. We're gonna have a problem out here." So it's a little nerve wracking. You're like, "Oh man, I'm gonna black out in this fucking centrifuge. That sucks." But it also makes you, at least for me, it made me like motivated. I was like, I'm not blacking out on this. I'm gonna prove these guys
Do you
wrong.
still black out now, or does your body
hell
get
no.
used to it?
Oh, hell
I've
no.
never blacked out. I've never blacked out pulling
Wow.
G's. The centrifuge I didn't, and in the jets in Fort Worth, the ones I flew, if you blacked out, you're most certainly dead. In these ones, they have something called auto GCAS, where if you black out, the jet does math and science and figures out like, hey, you're pointed at the ground at 1.2 Mach. I need to start a pull up now to recover at 75 feet, whatever. So
That's so cool that the jet is like connected to your body. Like it's like it knows when you black out.
Dude,
it doesn't
I
know when you
gray
black
out.
out.
What was that?
Graying out.
I was gonna say I gray out on a fucking helix on a roller coaster. So, I mean, I can't imagine.
Well,
I can't imagine that.
we
shit.
have G suits that inflate
Okay.
our lower body, and we also G strain. So we do a certain breath exchange that keeps the blood in our nugget longer. So there's a lot of different techniques, but if you see that video on the Instagram, you'll see me doing the G strain, and I have just a G suit on, so I'm just melting into the seat.
Dude, I'm
Is
wearing
that
that
some-
G suit next time I go to fucking Six Flags.
Is that something you had to do as well, Micah?
Yeah.
Yes. I think 1.2
2G.
Gs is the most I've ever experienced.
Sometimes it'll sneak up on you.
No, like I said, he's done more rigorous. The most I've ever done was, in order to be a flight instructor, you have to do spins, which to him, that's every day. But for me, it's like, it's mainly to prevent a student from getting in one inadvertently when you're training them. So you need to know how to get
What's a
yourself out
spin?
of one. It's a spin is basically, I don't have a plane, but
You have a pen. I know you have a pen.
I do. Ah! There we go.
There it is.
In, you're on top, breathe. Relax the neck, relax the shoulders, breathe. Get the knees closer together, breathe. Abs and butt right now, breathe. More air in, breathe. Relax the shoulders, relax the neck, breathe. Knees in, breathe. Terminate, let go of the stick, hold the string.
That hurts like a motherfucker.
Holy
Does
shit,
not feel good.
dude. Now,
Yeah,
what did
you-
you?
What the knees have
Keep
to
it
do
in,
with
keep
it?
it in. You're on top, breathe.
So he's telling me
Relax
to
the neck,
squeeze my
relax the
knees in
shoulders, breathe.
to like
Get the knees
squeeze my
closer
inner thigh.
together, breathe. Abs and butt right now, breathe. More air in,
Damn, you're at
breathe.
9 fucking G's.
Relax the shoulders, relax the neck, breathe.
So when he tells you to
Knees
let
in,
go,
Sure.
what,
breathe. Terminate, let go of the stick, hold the string.
So in this
does
case,
that-
you're supposed to relax your whole upper body, and then you're supposed to tighten up your. You basically start with your calves. You tighten your calves, tighten your legs, squeeze your legs in towards each other, and then squeeze your butt. The last thing you're doing is pushing your abs out against the inflating G suit. So as it inflates, the more G's you pull, the more it inflates, and it's easier to push out. But you're like squeezing the bottom of a toothpaste bottle, keeping all of the blood in your head. So you're squeezing all your lower body. Then you're relaxing your upper body to not cause too much strain. So you'll see like my face is just kind of like melting because I'm not adding any more strain to my face. And then my arms and your wrists just kind of like sag down too.
How
And
do you
that
feel
guy,
after
So
that?
you go from weighing
terrible.
170 to over 1,000 pounds.
Like,
Yes,
do you
yeah,
feel
and
like shit after? Like, do you have to like recover?
you just feel exhausted. It's like running a mile. You just
Wow.
feel like it's weird because even your eyelids, like when your eyelids are 9 times heavier than you're used to, like you get done with it and you're just like, holy shit, like you're blinking weird. Plus, it's really hard to have zero light loss at 9G. So you do start to see a little bit of funneling. And then as you let go, it starts to like slowly come back and it just kind of messes with your head a little bit. But we don't do 9Gs that often, but it's not fun.
I kind of want to ask you the same thing I asked Mike on one of our episodes too. Is he wanted to fly certain planes like you mentioned, and he kind of went over different ones and went over the reasoning for the plane he wanted to fly. What was it? The 586? What was the
77?
size? Michael, what was the
wants
big plane you
77.
went?
I fly the
737.
737, but my favorite is the 787.
787. So you mentioned the F-16, F-15, and what was the difference between those that made you want to fly them? Like what put them on your list at the top?
There's we have a lot of planes in the Air Force, as you are aware, but only some of them actually do stuff. So like the A-10, F-16, F-15E do a lot of air to ground, and they actually do missions. They do like important sorties other than shooting down balloons. So I didn't really want to do 5th gen like stealth stuff. I wanted to do like get in the shit and actually be involved stuff. And that really came down to those 3 jets. So between those 3, it wasn't a huge deal to me which one I flew. But once I got into the F-16, the community is phenomenal. The plane's amazing. The missions it does is awesome. Like the amount of stuff it does is just unreal. Yeah, and it's super fun. I love it. I don't
Is
think
that a
I'd
newer
want to fly.
plane?
No,
So
it
it's
was
an older.
our tails. They were manufactured in the 80s,
Wow.
probably designed in like the 70s.
Mine was manufactured in the 60s.
Wow.
Ooh.
And there's just like, how often do they upgrade? Like both
The
both of you, how often do
F-35.
they upgrade these things?
we get new operating systems every once in a while, which is like the great thing about the F-16 is that you can always just put stuff on it that makes it better because it's not a stealth aircraft. You can just tack stuff onto it to make it more lethal.
You just gave me a key word that I didn't think of. Sorry for cutting you off. The stealth bomber. Have you ever seen one in real life?
I think they're impossible to see. They're stealth, right?
Damn.
Spoken like a true Air Force.
No, I have not seen one. We're not allowed to see them.
Okay, so what clearance is that then? Do you have to be like?
I don't know.
Like the motherfucker that you don't know, like that you never knew was a person.
If they don't tell me, I'm certainly not telling you.
Because he has top secret clearance, but I found out from him that there's technically something higher than top secret, and that's Air Force One clearance.
Wow. So you can go on the actual.
I didn't know that. There's clearances have been compartmentalized since was it Snowden? Everything's compartmentalized now. So like you can't. I don't know anything outside of my fighter pilot realm, which is great. I don't want to. I like to just know what I need to know. I don't want people to tell me there's aliens because then I have to fucking contain that. I don't want to do that.
Yeah. So, do you believe in aliens?
Bitch. Right.
Now, what is the craziest thing you've seen? I know I'm not saying like aliens in particular, but what's the craziest thing you've seen while flying? I mean, it could have been like a fucking balloon or whatever the case may be, but
a bird you never knew existed.
Yeah, what's the craziest thing that you've seen while flying?
Remember that one time you caught me with my boxers on? Tell him about it.
I didn't see much. I'll tell you that. You really have to strain the eyes for that.
No, I know what you're gonna say.
What?
The SpaceX.
That was probably the coolest probably the coolest sortie I've done. I got to watch a SpaceX shuttle launch from overhead.
Wow,
that's dope.
That's cool.
I've seen weird stuff too.
You're being very modest. He was protecting the airspace that the rocket was in. So he's more than
I saw SpaceX.
We wanted to watch a rocket launch, so we protected the airspace. You're welcome for my service.
Thank you. We appreciate that.
The thing is, like, there. Under night vision goggles, when you're at 30,000 feet, just like staring into the dark, you can see everything. You can see everything. It's like there's more light than there is dark from the stars when you're looking up at night under MVGs. Just super fun. You can get like lost in the sauce. You can just sit there for like 30 minutes and just like stare at the sky as your plane like slowly tumbles out of the sky if you're not careful. I remember the first time I saw the Starlink satellites like in a row. I was like super freaked out by that until I figured out what it was. Like, what in the fuck is happening in the sky right now? There's like little dots following each other. I also have a pretty vivid memory of in pilot training. I was flying, and we're flying at night. I was doing something called a TACAN tour, which is like I had done all my flights at night, and I just needed to like fulfill the syllabus, which is like go fly one more time at night. Like, okay, well, what do you want me to do? Like, just fly at night. That is your mission, is to fly at night and get experience. So we logged a flight plan that was just flying between like geographic places.
Things on the grounds that help him navigate.
Yeah. Gotcha. With no intent or purpose. Just like, let's go fly over Memphis, and then we'll go over Atlanta, and then you just kind of like do a triangle and come back. Needless to say, it was a really boring flight. So all I was like staring at the sky, and I didn't have night vision goggles. I was flying with another guy in my back seat with me. So I was a student back then. And I remember there was like a little like light on the horizon, or not on the horizon, but like in the sky. And I was watching it. It was brighter than all the other stars. That's really weird. And I'm just watching it. It's dead silent in the plane. And we're at 30,000 feet at night. So it is just quiet. Like at night, for whatever reason, like ATC doesn't talk as much. The plane's quieter. Everything is just kind of like calm. And just watching this light. The light like slowly starts going overhead and then gets dimmer, and then just like shoots off into the oblivion. And I'm watching, and I was like, between a hot mic
off.
Yeah, it got like faster. It just went like, and in the back, I was like, "You just see that?" And he's like, "Let's never talk about that again." I was like, "Oh my god, that was the weirdest thing." I remember, like we didn't talk about it again. I was like, that was
What do you think? Weird. What do you think it was?
I don't know. I don't know. It could have been a satellite, like reflecting off the sun. It could have been a meteor, but it was weird. Like the rate at which,
acceleration though.
that's what was weird. Like we were both watching it for a while, and I could tell we were both watching it. It was brighter than everything else. And it was like, is it a plane? Is it a planet?
Crazy.
Is it a meteor? You know, you're kind of running through all the stuff in your mind. And then when it like disappeared, it was like, no, that was weird, man. That was some fucked up shit. Like, I don't know what that was.
So you never told us what you do when you have to go to the bathroom and eat.
Oh,
what do you do when you eat also?
Oh, this is because like on really long sorties, this is like what you do to entertain yourself now is you take a piss. So like I have a whole system. I have a whole system down now. I really got it down in the last deployment. I safe the seat because I don't want to accidentally eject when I'm taking a pee. That would really suck. Because best case scenario, I land somewhere I'm not supposed to be with my penis hanging out. Worst case, they find my body and it's just like a flight suit with like limp dick hanging out of my flight suit. Like, well, we know how he died. He was trying to take a piss. I always safe the seat. Safe the seat up. The little master caution light will go on. I leave that on so I don't forget to rearm the seat. And then you have a lot of straps, a lot of stuff going on. We had like sometimes you have combat vests, sometimes you have full up like dry suits for the ocean. So you could be like really
with a pistol.
Yeah, with a pistol. Like, you really packed in this tiny plane. So get everything undone, and then you have a little bag that's like has a little seal to it. So I break the seal, and at the bottom of it's like little beads that absorb water, or in this case, not water. And then you pee into the bag, and I prop myself up on the plane. I pee in the bag, and then I usually like curl it up and put it on the glare shield and let it solidify so it like flattens out. Then I take my solid thing of pee and I store it in the back, like behind me, because there's not a lot of space in our jet. So I like
it becomes
behind me.
It becomes a pee brick.
Oh yeah, yeah. This is a little pee brick.
So this is Austin while eating as well. So this. Okay, I can't play the music. I don't want to get.
Yeah, it's a Jimmy John.
So is it like okay for you to just eat like that in the plane?
Yeah. I mean, if you whatever you want to bring in the jet, there's just the big limitation is space. It's like whatever space you have available. That was a 12. That was the big one, the gigantuan. So I always brought the biggest Jimmy John sandwich I could have. And that was another thing too. Like that sortie was like that's like a 9-hour sortie where you're just kind of like hanging out, doing nothing. So peeing was one source of entertainment. The other source of entertainment was eating. So I just sit there and like unwrap my Jimmy John sandwich and go at it for 10 minutes.
I like how you can see this.
Yeah, I know the camera.
It's just it's sitting on my knee board.
Yeah.
So you mentioned getting up and taking a piss and the seat. You have to make sure you don't ejecto-cedo yourself. How have you actually ever ejected yourself from? Like, how do you do that training? Because I mean, you're not just gonna crash a plane and eject yourself, right?
Yeah, we're not F-35 pilots. We damn, there's a couple people who understand that. No, you practice the seating position, like how to pull the handle and then how to land out of the parachute. There's like a whole checklist you do after you're in the parachute to make sure everything's working right and then steer yourself to the ground. But you don't actually go and pull the handle because that'd hurt.
How fast do you shoot out of that thing?
Very.
Yeah.
Uncomfortably fast.
I'll say it hurts, like because you hit the toppers. That thing is supposed to open.
The whole canopy blows off, and then I think it's like a 14 seconds of incapacitation where you're just kind of like, you have to imagine too.
Wind.
Yeah, the slowest we can go is like 170 miles an hour. So the minute you get out of the jet stream, like you're just getting hit in the face with wind.
Hundreds.
Like, imagine your hand out. Imagine rolling down your window going 80 and you stick your hand out. It's gonna hurt. And then going 180.
Do people get hurt from doing that usually? Like they're fucked. But it's better than obviously getting fucking taken out or crashing your shit.
Usually it works pretty well. I know there's stories of people that eject over the Mach, like going 1.5, Mach 1.5 and ejecting, and their body just like their bones disintegrate, but they survive because they didn't crash the plane. So
So
Yeah.
I want to switch it up a little bit. We're kind of talking before we started. I wanted to get your guys' opinion on the pilot that pretty much allegedly he shut off 2 engines and is now I think he's like attempted murder. He's being charged for attempted murder. Now, what's your guys' take on that? And is that possible what he did? And because I believe he was off duty, right?
Well, because I flew this plane, let me go get the. I will show you what he pulled.
Oh shit!
All right, now
We're
that he's
getting
gone,
exclusive shit right now.
that guy is a real chode.
As a real By the way,
He
I
hadn't
think
taken.
I think I met you at his wedding. By the way, I
Oh,
was
yeah.
just thinking about this now.
I was there.
thinking about this now. Yep.
Ooh.
I
Okay.
have my kid with me.
Oh, okay.
My kid was tearing up the dance floor.
That's the Embraer. I know he was. These are all the buttons and switches of the Embraer. The guy was sitting in the jump seat, so this panel right here is behind us. Like it's above and behind us. The captain and first officer. The jump seat is a seat that comes down from the cockpit door, and then pilots use it to get to work, commute, or just use it to get from point A to point B. It's a you can only be a pilot to access that seat.
Okay.
Some planes have one, some planes have. My plane has 2. The 777 I think has like 4 or something like that, and then other planes have like full-on bunks and beds like in the cockpit for relief crew and all that. So the guy was sitting in the jump seat, and he pulled these down, but didn't actually. I think he pulled it down, but didn't actually fully pull it down. When you pull that handle down, it shuts off fuel to the engine. You can't get the fuel back. Shuts off hydraulics. Shuts off all your pumps, oil pumps, generators for the electricity on the plane. Basically, you only pull that if there's a fire. And
In
you
the engine, right?
Yeah, and you rotate the handle to blow a bottle. And this plane has 2 bottles. So if you rotate it to blow a bottle and the fire's still not out, you rotate it the other way to blow the second bottle. So again, like I said, you would only pull that if there was an actual fire. If you pull that on healthy engines, yeah, you're not getting that engine back. So he tried to shut down both, but didn't. But if he actually like
Wait, how
fully,
did he not? How incapable is this human that he couldn't pull a
it's
handle?
actually I remember doing it in training, and if I remember correctly, there's a detent that you have to get past, and he never
Did
got
he do
past
the training?
detent. I think
Apparently
because we
not.
never no, because we only pull
Yeah.
those handles like once a year in training, and we don't ever touch that obviously in the real world.
At least you hope
because
not to.
yeah, because engine fires are like super rare. I think he just didn't get past the detent.
Why did he try to do
I
it?
think he said he was on shrooms.
Well, so I mean,
Wow.
what I've read was he had a nervous breakdown. That was his excuse to, I guess, officials that he had a mental breakdown. He was having an episode, and he pulled it pretty much. At least
This
that's
is why I
what
fly
I'm
alone.
reading.
This is why I
Yeah,
fly
tempted
alone.
to. Dude, it's nuts. I mean, even like there's really no solution to this because any pilot
Yeah, there
could
is.
do this.
There is a solution.
Single pilot.
My thing is, if there's a fire in on the plane or like in the engine, there's a fire in the engine, no matter what. So put this thing behind glass or where you have to put a key in there and be able to like open it. You're still gonna have that time anyways to shut down the engine. It's not gonna make a difference, right?
The only thing in that plane that there's some switches where you have to flip a guard and then like
But
yeah,
not the
so
one to
there
shut
are
down the whole fucking plane though.
but to that thing, it's like again, you have to pull it and then pull it again to get past the detent. So there's like a safeguard there. So there's lots of switches that have guards, but yeah, it's the crazy thing is why. What my question is why, if he was serious about doing this, because think about it, if he pulled that plane is a glider, and that is something we do not train for in the airlines. Is a dual. We don't practice that in the sim because it like what Sully did was so. That's why it's amazing because you don't practice for that. We
We do.
practiced the last time Yeah, you do, because you do emergencies. I wish we did.
We have one engine.
Oh yeah. The last time I did a simulated engine failure was when I flew super small planes. So if he actually pulled that and then turned it into a glider, that would have been, man, it's hard. It's I can't imagine that, just gliding an airliner from cruise to an airport. That's so much finesse and eyesight and just gauging that. Yeah.
What does that person get? Does he get like a key to the city after that, or like a raise?
The guy who pulled the fire alarm thing?
Nope.
No.
He gets jail time, dude.
No, the person that
No.
helps land something
He
like
should
that.
get a
or,
key
like
to the
someone
city
that's
too, though,
raised.
because that
Sully, he gets a movie made by
Yeah.
him. That's what he gets.
gets to sell solely bobbleheads.
There you
Yeah.
go.
That
No,
was
you-
crazy though. It's pretty nuts.
Yeah, you charged with like 83 murders. My question is if he was serious about it, why not just wait until you're working? So it's a very weird situation, because if you're seriously gonna do that, go take that extreme fucked up thing to do. Why not just wait until you are the captain, because he's a captain, and then do it yourself?
Now,
Maybe
do
he
you
tripped.
think?
I don't know. What I want to know is how the
Oh, my
captain
bad,
and first
both of them
officer
down twist.
subdued him. Yeah. They subdued him in the cockpit, so that's crazy.
If he was high on shrooms, he'd probably curl up into a ball and started crying after he did it. I'm
I don't
sorry.
know.
Do
They beat
you
his ass and put
do you
him
believe in
the
having weapons, like as a pilot? Do you feel like you guys should have a weapon, or can you?
We do.
I do.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he's got big ones. No, airline pilots, we're allowed to.
Like, what can you have?
A pistol. They're called federal flight deck officers. It's a real
A
thing.
rocket
You can-
launcher.
Ostaya está en Granada.
That's funny.
So now, because of this happening, and he wasn't technically on duty, what are they called again? The people who sit
Jump
down,
seat.
jump
It's
seat.
just the jump seat. Yeah.
Now, do you think they're going to be changing laws and stuff when it comes to jump seats now?
Dude, I don't see any solution to this, because any pilot could do this. It's not just the person in the jump seater that could pull those. Any pilot that's off his rails working could do that. So what are you
That's
gonna
why we
do?
should make robots flying airplanes.
That's funny. We talked about that last
Yeah, we talked
episode
about
with
that
him.
one, yeah.
So
Solves everything.
moving that away, or having two keys that are needed to do something,
Like
where
a nuclear
the
bomb.
other pilot or the co-pilot have to be able to. Yeah, exactly. So,
Yep.
I mean, that's kind of the only solution.
It's
really.
Or
kind
maybe
of
one pilot.
I mean, no, it's dude. You have an engine fire in an airliner, you are in the red. You are stressed, and I think the last thing you want to be doing is like fumbling for a key, making sure you got it in the slot. What happens if the key breaks? So it's like,
Your checklist is so much longer than ours because we have a second motor under our ass that we're like, oh man, we tried that one thing. Guess we'll just eject now.
yeah, yeah, no,
That's
there's
wild to
we
me. The
can't
thought of
eject.
not being able to eject out of an airplane is insane to me.
Go down with the ship.
No. Nope.
Another thing I wanted to ask you: how does a plane tilt while stagnant or just standing there? What, like?
Oh, like the KC-135 on the ramp? Oh,
Yeah,
there's
like
another one. Oh,
like
I
how
haven't- yeah.
how does
Yeah,
this happen?
So it's a weight and balance issue with the loaders when they're loading the bags. The plane that I fly, they have to put a yellow, if you can sometimes see it, it's a yellow tail stand,
Yeah,
and
it's
they
like
put the tails, they stick it up in the ass of the plane, and
Oh,
it
yeah.
prevents that. Yeah, so
Oh, dude, that's gonna be a new fetish after this video.
Yeah, that's a Navy thing.
like that blonde girl going with the like Rolls Royce or something, and she's whispering it. Some guy's like on the ass end of the
Mercedes.
plane. Oh yeah, Mercedes.
Mercedes. You're talking about
when I
cars.
saw
right?
Going ass.
when I originally saw this,
Mercedes.
they had a video pretty much of everyone that was in the back of the plane. They had to casually walk or try to go up to the front of the plane to like
Yeah.
balance the plane, but when it bounced finally like sits down like on the front of the front tire,
Wheel.
will it, yeah, the front wheel, will it like fuck up the plane at all, or how does that work?
Oh, dude! If you tap a wingtip against another plane, that plane's grounded, and they're deplaning everyone, and maintenance is.
So what's up with that flight tape that you see on like the certain airlines?
High speed tape.
Does that work?
It's an actual thing. High speed tape.
Damn.
It's
like I
like
saw a plane with it like fucking decked out, dude.
Yeah, no, I see that. I see that sometimes on the walkarounds. Do you have high speed tape, Austin?
Fuck no, we're not peasants. We fix our planes. What are you talking about? No, we have the world's greatest maintenance force ever made to fix our one little plane to go fly. And God forbid they use fast tape. They would never do that. Oh,
would you even fly? Would you even fly your plane if it had it on there?
No, because it would never. That would be a red flag. If I walked out and there's fast tape on my plane, I look around like, all right, Ashton Kutcher, where are you, buddy? Where are you hiding? This guy's a fucking joke, man. Not flying this thing.
Are you flying? Are you the only one flying that plane, or is there people that come in after you leave?
That's what you're asking. No, we all share plane. So crew chiefs own the plane. We don't. So there is a dude or a female dude who owns the plane, and their job is to maintain that plane and make sure it is ready to go for us. We just borrow it from them. So the names on the side, like we have our names on the side of some planes, but that's symbolic. The crew chief's name on the jet is there because it's their jet.
Gotcha.
Interesting.
Yes.
Micah, when you're on the plane and you bring your own lunch, right? Like you walk on with your little lunch bag and go in and eat. Do you ever just sit there and you're like, fuck, dude, sometimes I just want one of those biscottis or like a fucking Sprite from the cart. Like, can you just like
Oh yeah. The flight attendants will be like, hey, do you guys need anything?
You pull the big red handle, twist it, you get Sprite. Shit, man, I want a Sprite.
We were talking to Zach an episode or two ago, and he was saying that he likes to wait till the last person gets on the plane so he can walk on and just sit right in the first class spot.
If there's a spot still.
How many times do you think he can get away with that in the normal world?
Well, if he's waiting for the last spot, then that means that it's not assigned seating.
I think it's absolutely ridiculous. It's so stupid to me that people get on the plane right away. Why do you want to get on the plane so quick? Like, why would you not wait to
exactly?
Well, no,
I always do that. I wait till they do last call and then I stroll into the plane.
Well, if you have your own
go to
carry-on
my seat,
and you're just a backpack.
Yeah,
but even if you have a check, even if you want to put one up top, all they're going to do is throw it into the plane, and you're going to have it when you walk out of the plane anyway.
No, not necessarily. Sometimes they gate check it, and most of the times it goes with all the other bags.
Oh, you mean lost?
I don't care. It's going to be, but if they do that, it's going to be the first bag in, like when they get it. It's going to be like right on the edge.
You have to wait for them to fill it up and transport it to the baggage plane.
If I get to avoid another 15 minutes next to the sweaty dude next to me on the plane, then I'm going to sit out there and finish my drink and read a book and then get on the plane when they call my name throughout the entire airport for me to show up. I'm like, yeah, I'm right here. I'm ready to go. And then walk on.
So if it is assigned seating, but first class is not filled up and he is the last person to go on, he just sits in one of those seats. Is there someone like that could so what happens with they potentially come like, dude, what are you doing here? Like, you're not on my checklist.
He's just a pilot,
every airline. Every airline's different. Yeah, I know how to break
just fly the thing.
Yeah, I just fly this shit. You don't give a fuck where everyone's sitting.
Every airline has different seating policies.
I'm just trying to figure out what I got to do to sit in first class.
Only the best airlines give you assigned seats. We know that much.
Damn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
We know that much.
I have an assigned seat little story too, because I went to Florida and I have kids. And flying on a plane from California to Florida is already a pain in the ass. So we get on this plane, we got our seating, it was great. We sat down, and on our way back, they changed our flight, and we end up on another flight. Not saying who it was, but it was not assigned seating. And mind you, I have 2 kids. My wife, we're getting back from Florida. My son is like not feeling too hot. We're like, fuck, we need to get home. And we just sit there like, where the fuck are we gonna sit? Because you got motherfuckers everywhere, and not only that, the ticket was the same price as the ticket I paid for the other place, and this was it was a little bit smaller of a plane, so I was like, all right, I get it, but I went on my app. So long story short, we all ended up getting to sit next to each other all the way in the fucking back, like next to the bathrooms, like just in our little corner. But after that, I went on and I realized like none of these planes give you assigned seating. What the fuck? You know how hard? Like it doesn't make sense. You have all
Unless
these
you
people
pay an
that just
extra
fucking
$30
stop.
per seat.
But then you have all these people just sitting in the aisles trying to figure out where the fuck they're gonna sit and throw it. And it takes you like an extra 30 minutes to even get ready in your seats. It just that makes zero sense to me. How is that a good business model? How's that logical?
Also,
At
why do we
least
load
at
the
least-
planes from front to back? How does that make any
No,
fucking sense?
they've
Why
done
is-
studies. They've
Go
done
ahead.
studies of like back to front, front to back. Some airlines do front and back at the same time. Some do windows to aisles.
The way we load my plane is from front to back, and it doesn't make sense. I like back to front.
Really?
Yeah.
I
What
feel
about
like
your
there's a
bags?
joke in
What do you
there.
I
think
know.
of bags?
I don't know. All I'm
Your
saying
bags you
with
put
kids,
behind you.
with kids and shit, like that's not fucking easy. And guess what I'm gonna do? I'm never gonna fly on that plane again. Never gonna fly with that people. That's just cheap as
I
fuck.
keep buying tickets for airlines at the same time. Like I want 3 tickets, me, my wife, and my kid, and then we end up in different seats. Like, why? Why do you? This is not a problem for me. This is a problem for everybody else on the plane. When I walk in, like, who wants to sit next to my wife and kid? Good luck. Like,
You're up, bitch. Good luck.
Who is that comedian? There's a bit about that, right? He's like, some dude looked at me and was like, "I want you to switch seats with me so my wife can sit there." And he looks at the husband. He's like,
Yeah. Yeah.
"Please no."
Or the one video on Instagram where the guy's like, "Hey, can you switch here so that my daughter can sit with me?" And then the guy's just like eating popcorn, and he's like, "No, bitch needs to learn how life works."
Oh, speaking of popcorn, do you guys ever do you find it weird to go to the movie theater and just get a bucket of popcorn and then leave?
Yes,
Okay, Micah.
that's weird.
I like pretzels.
I like turtles.
I like turtles.
Oh shit! The reason why
That's
we
weird.
asked,
Does somebody
the
do
reason,
that?
yeah, the reason why we asked my buddy Zach, we just did an episode with him last night, and he was talking about he goes to the movie theater just to get a to go thing of popcorn, and they have a literally a to go like bag, and it's like $14, and it's huge because the popcorn there is just so much better than what you would buy at a store. And he says he goes there, and then Candid said he does the same thing, and I didn't know that shit. Like people actually do it, but
Where
I
do
didn't know
you
about
take
the
it?
go bag though.
like
Take
you
it
would
home.
What are
take
you talking about?
take it home, and you would watch a movie and shit.
Just chill
Do you
out.
go to Costco just to get the pizza?
I mean, you get the pizza on the way out of shopping.
So you don't go there specifically for the pizza?
No, when you go to Costco,
Yeah,
Costco,
fucking
you go-
weird.
But see, the thing is, I would though if it was like one of those. But if I'm going to Costco, like I have an agenda in general.
That's fucking
Popcorn's
weird.
different than pizza.
Oh shit!
Popcorn's different than
Nah,
pizza. So yeah, I guess
it's
so. If
even
the way you're
weirder.
talking about, yeah, that makes sense. I guess so. Is it, pizza would make more sense for me to go get a pizza from Costco than me to go to the fucking movie theaters for popcorn.
to get
Well,
popcorn.
damn, I just fucked up. But I mean, yeah, I get pizza, bro.
Hey, so before we get out of here, I have to bring this up, and it's Austin's second child that he has, from what I'm told. But yeah, what made you go with this? Honestly, never seen this Bronco. This is the first time I've ever seen this Bronco. I just don't see him much.
You've seen Broncos though.
Yeah. We used to have a Ford Bronco like years ago, but I've never
Yeah,
seen
that-
this
that
style.
all white
80s
one with
one,
the
or-
one giant window and the. Never mind.
Okay.
With
Yeah,
a
like
tire on the
OJ
back,
style?
like
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Slowly running away from police. Yeah.
Allegedly.
So I don't. Dude, these Broncos have been in a big area of contention for a while because like these came out 3 years ago or something. Ford announced they're gonna release a Bronco, and then people ordered them, but then they didn't deliver them for 2 years. So it basically took people 2 years to get these. So I put an order in, and I waited 2 years to get one, and then about a year and a half into waiting, they announced that they're going to do a Bronco Raptor, which I had suspected they were going to do, but wasn't for sure. And I was super excited about it. So I've been on all these Bronco forums forever and following the whole thing. So they announced this Bronco Raptor. I hopped on the train, and through a whole series of events, which I won't get into detail with, I ended up getting that Bronco Raptor at MSRP
Wow.
in December of 2022, which was like unheard of. Most of the Bronco Raptors being sold right now are going for like, they were going for like 110,000 when I picked
What?
mine up.
Yeah, dude, they're
Yeah.
they're legit as
Damn.
fuck too.
But
Dude, you're getting over
that,
400
like
horsepower on
mine,
a V6. That's ridiculous.
it's 37 stock wheels, so huge wheel. It's the largest stock wheel produced in a car. So yeah, the dealership I wanted to get it from offered me one for 15,000 over and said that was a really good price, and I turned them down and I got one somewhere else. But when I got that car, I was super excited about it, and I don't know a whole lot of people that were able to get it at MSRP, and I got it the first year, so it retailed for the first year at $69,000, and that's what I bought it for. Now they're retailing base is I think 85 or 86,000,
Shit.
and
And
you
I'm sure
still
you've
can't
done
really
work
get
to yours,
them.
huh?
I've done a little bit to it, but
They're kind of
I've been
already
talking to a lot
stacked,
of.
right?
They're stacked pretty much from the factory. So they have the Fox shocks and 37-inch wheels. They have the V6, the twin turbo V6 you're talking about with 416 horsepower. And like I said, I've been super involved with this community. So I started an Instagram for it, and I actually started talking to this company, Armadillo Designs, on getting an aftermarket hardtop, and offered my Bronco to them for a couple months, and they used it to produce. They used it to test their hardtop on, which they're making an aluminum hardtop for it. And there's another company in Texas called Texas Motorworks, and I've been talking to them about doing some different mods to it as well. So I have the first model year of this car, which is super awesome, but I also don't have the fuck you money that most people have that bought it. So like, I think that mine's probably the only one that's still pretty stock, whereas everybody else that bought one was able to also put in like 15 to 20 grand on top of it and just like throw money at it. So
Now,
when
that
you
What
might.
about that? What about that vinyl cover that you put on the ceiling and you're like, what the fuck is this? That is like the poor quality or something with the American flag.
Oh,
Well,
that's just a Bimini mesh shade made by like it's
yeah.
J-Tops. Yeah, they make a custom like Bimini shade. So I don't have the roof on my car right now. I've had it off for like 2 months because I have a Bimini top on it, which is fucking awesome. I love it.
Oh yeah, that's dope.
now what's something?
Sorry.
My bad. What's something that you would do to your truck if you had, if you wanted to? Would you do
If you had
like
the fuck you money.
There's
exterior,
Yeah.
interior, engine?
Well, I am gonna do so. Like I said, I've been working with talking to a company in Texas to do some stuff, and they made these cars so well. Like Ford did such a good job with this release of this car because the stuff you can do to it is unreal. Like I think I've probably put in 4 or 5 grand just like little stuff that I like wanted to get for it, and it's just like I bought a roach decal. I made a roach decal for it. That's a couple hundred, and then like not a couple hundred. Sorry, it's a little bit. And then I bought like vinyl stickers for it. I bought like like little compartments for it inside, like little covers, whatever. It's so easy to spend money on it.
Molly on the back.
Molly panels on the back, thank you. The Bimini shade, the mud flaps, like little stuff like that. But I do want to do. I might do bigger wheels. Bigger tires. I'm gonna get new wheels pretty soon.
What?
I'm
How
definitely gonna
big
get
are your
new
tires right now?
bumpers. They're 37s,
37s.
but
Okay.
it can clear 38s and 39s, no problem.
No
If I want to go
shit.
40s or 42s, I definitely need to get
Dude,
a
37 is
lift.
massive.
It's bigger than my 3-year-old kid. So
So when you're driving this thing, like you have to have two mindsets. You're either going to be like, I'm going off road today, or I'm going to go fast as fuck in this thing. So how do you like? Do you ever take it off road, and are you scared to
Oh
take it
yeah,
off road? Because I always wonder if I'm paying 100,000 or 80,000 or getting a
yeah,
good deal at MSRP, I don't want to bring that motherfucker off road, even though that's what it's made for.
dude. So like I said, I'm like one of the only people that got this thing in MSRP, and I treat it like I don't really give a shit. I do everything to it. I treat it like it's a fucking Bronco. The thing is, though, on my Instagram, I don't post a lot of videos of me doing off-road shit because it's not really fun. Like nobody cares about me driving fast off-road and like doing all that stuff. But since I moved to New Mexico, I've taken it off road every single weekend we've been here, and I take my family with me, and they love it.
Yeah, you
I
can
just don't
camp
like.
out of that thing too, dude.
It's beyond.
Yeah,
It
I've
definitely is
done
beyond
that.
capable.
It's so much fun. I enjoy it a lot. And like you said, there's two different mindsets. So I've taken it crawling, like rock crawling, and that's not my favorite. Like rock crawling's fun, but it's a little bit slower. There's a lot more technique to it that I'm not great at. And the people who do that are like incredibly skilled, and they've been doing it their whole lives, so it's pretty intimidating. I like going fast, so I do a lot of that in New Mexico, where I just go on like there's a lot of open desert and a lot of just fire roads and open land, like BLM land out here. So that's what we've been doing on weekends. But like I said, I don't have a drone and I'm not filming myself, so it's funny too because I read all these comments about like the fucking Jeep people that are like, "Oh, look at this mall crawler, pavement princess, whatever." I'm like, I don't really give a shit because I take this, I do whatever I want to this car. Like, I don't need to prove anything to you guys, whatever, man.
You know what the best thing is that you
I
just said is that
I
you're
will film you.
intimidated
I
by
was just
going
about
up
to say that.
rocks, and you fucking
Yeah.
fly like fucking jets and shit.
Well, you're talking about ruining my car. I'm like, yeah, this is a $70,000 car. If I
Oh,
go
not
ruin
not
it,
the $1 billion fucking jet.
Yeah, but that
no,
ain't
it's not
coming out of
mine.
his check. Yeah,
That's you're
that ain't
paying for
coming
that.
out.
That's your money.
Appreciate
it. Yeah. But I mean,
Um,
it is, dude. It's dented up. Like I have dents everywhere. I have scratches everywhere. I love it. I do. I beat it
Nice.
to shit,
But
and I love it.
yeah,
I
yeah,
love
that's
that you do
dope.
that because people, like I said, I would be scared as shit to do that. But you're right. It's
I
a
have nothing
fucking
against
Bronco.
people. Dude, people make those cars look super, super cool and don't take it off road, and that's totally fine. You can do whatever because it's still fast. Like it's still a fun, fast car. But I do love taking it off road, and I beat it to shit, and I do the fun stuff in it, and it is really
You
fun.
know what I
And that
wish
thing,
they
like,
did? I wish they made it a third row. I wish they had a third row version, like
it can
or
barely
more of a
fit too.
family style. Yeah.
Yeah,
Shit.
that's the thing. I don't put car seats in. I will put my kid's car seat in it and then take it out the next day because I don't want it in there.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I will film you with my drone.
I was
There you
just
go.
about
Yeah,
to
well,
say that, bro. I
yeah.
was like, you need to see Mike
I
with his
know.
fucking VR fucking goggles on while filming you with his drone. That'd be
If
dope,
y'all have
dude.
never been in a car like that too, like that's super beefed up and good at going fast off road, it is shocking how you can see these like giant rocks or rivets in front of you, and then as a passenger, you're like, oh fuck, like this is gonna be bad,
Yeah,
and the car is just like,
yeah, like you
you just
don't
like,
feel it.
dude, it's so
Wow.
much fun. It is.
Dude, that'd
I
be
do
so cool
love.
if I could sit in the passenger seat with my VR goggles and
That'd
just
be fun.
follow the car
Dude,
as
that'd
I'm
be
in it.
so dope, dude.
I might actually
I
post stuff
can't
of me
wait.
going off road.
I
That'd be
can't
so
wait.
sick.
I do like
Uh,
that Ford actually brought out multiple different versions, and they also made the sports version for like people that still wanted a Bronco.
Yeah, I wish they had named it something else because there's nothing worse than telling people. So when I got my
You order.
Bronco too, like it was one of the first model years, so people hadn't even seen Broncos yet, the new ones, except
Yeah.
for the sports because the sports have been out for a while.
Mhm.
And I at my fighter squadron was like, "Hey man, you said you had a Bronco? Like, yeah, like isn't that the like Subaru Forester looking thing? Like, no man, no, it's got 37s. Fox, it's super cool. Like I take the doors off. It's fucking awesome."
Dude, that
All right,
video you
man.
had of you taking off the doors and like strategically placing them on the fucking
Yeah.
cushions, dude, that shit was funny.
The comments of that are funny too, because you get a lot of Jeep people that are like really dug in to the Jeep culture.
Yeah,
And Bronco is like the new kid on the block, so they're all shitting the Bronco, which is fine. I think it's funny, but that is not what I do when I take my doors off. I rip them off and throw them on the ground. I just thought it was funny because like the first couple times I did it, like them bitches are slippery. Like, and this is a fucking expensive car, and if you drop a door, like how stupid would you feel
yeah,
dropping your door on the floor? So like the first couple times you're like babying it off, and like you said it, you like
Newborn.
felt bungee cord it to the wall or whatever, and then like the third or fourth time you're like, fuck, I just want the doors off.
So I got one more question for you before we get out of here. Well, actually, two more. Tube Man, how did that
Mm.
become your call sign?
I'm just very notoriously tall and skinny, like a wacky inflatable
Do
arm
a
flailing
truffle
tube man.
shuffle.
Yeah, I never. It's not even, like I don't run around like flailing my arms around in the wind. It's just I think
Like you're at a fucking
tall
car
as-
dealership? Those things at a
yeah,
car
exactly.
dealership?
That's how I got my Bronco Raptor. Is I stood out at the dealership for 2 months and I did a little work for him.
Like a Wackly Wiggler.
My
I
name
think it
is
helps
Tube
to, like,
Man, damn it.
when I'm in a flight suit too, I think I look a little bit more tubular because it's just kind of like It's like one piece, just flows right down.
Yeah.
That's where that comes from.
So, and my last question is, if you had to give Micah a call name, what would that call name be?
Oh, that's a good
Call
one.
sign?
No one's ever asked that.
Yeah, call sign. Sorry,
That's
What would that
hard.
call
That's
sign
hard
be?
though, because it has to be like, it's unanimous, right? Between a bunch of people.
Yeah, it is. And dude, there are so we do namings, right? Where it's like we have roll calls where we all get together and we, as a squadron, so 30, 40 people all get together. And if we're doing a naming, we usually have weeks beforehand where we're coming up with names, ideas, usually acronyms, or you play off somebody's name, or like me being tall and skinny. There are people that are extremely skilled at this. That like
Yeah?
for whatever
Damn.
reason, man, just have like innate abilities to come up with the most egregious call signs for people. And I wish I had that, but I don't.
Yeah,
It's just
hard.
fun. It's fun to watch. Like
It's
some
it's
people,
easier.
they can
It's
rattle
easier
off
when
like
a
4 or
bunch.
5 call signs. And
Yeah,
all those are
yeah.
amazing.
It's more of a
Ne- ne-
group think thing.
Next time we have you on, we're gonna give Micah. All of us are gonna vote on a fucking call sign for him.
We're all gonna be
Hawaiian
jealous shots.
flying.
Yeah.
The pineapple pizza.
Dude,
No.
speaking of pineapple pizza, what's
No.
your thoughts?
You already asked him this.
Did I? Where the fuck have I been?
Apparently, you fucking zoned out.
Well,
dude.
did we ask? Yeah, dude, I'm tired. Did we ask him about the chicken nuggets?
I don't think I talked about pineapple pizza.
We didn't talk about pineapple
I
pizza,
thought
bro.
didn't we
Yeah,
talk
we
about
didn't
this?
No, dude. I think you know what.
two
Why don't you
different- two
just
different
go pull the red
situations.
things, dude.
Oh,
Go pull the
shit.
red things
Yeah.
down.
Pretty close.
So we-
Anyways,
yeah, go ahead, ask him. I thought we talked about this.
I feel weird now. This is awkward. So, what do you think pineapple belongs on pizza?
I don't think it does. But here's the thing. I don't think it
See?
belongs with pizza. I think it's okay. Like you could do whatever you want. It's 2016, all right? You can do whatever you want. But it's like having a foot fetish. Like I don't need to know about it. Like keep it to yourself,
Keep it
and like
to yourself.
don't try to normalize your foot fetish. Like I get it. There's a whole community of people out there that like feet, and that's totally cool, man. You can like feet, but like I don't do that. That's not
I'm the Ken
Yeah,
Kennedy. You can
I
find
think
me
that's
at
the
Pizza
best way.
Finder.
I think that's the best way anyone has put that. Like,
Yeah, no, that's fair.
that's fucking.
But will you
hilarious.
eat it? That's the question.
fuck yeah, I'll eat it.
Okay, so
Just
and
like-
and I'm assuming
that's
you'd
like-
be in the feet then. If she
Yes,
wanted you
of
to be in the
course.
feet.
But I'm not. I'm just
Okay.
not gonna like. I'm not gonna go out there and put on my car like a giant sticker on the back of my car like I love feet. It's just like.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna
Or
talk to
like-
people in a podcast and be like, "Do you like pineapple pizza?" Because I'm like, "Whoa, hold on now."
But that's the point.
Yeah,
I-
So
I
you
guess-
ask him about the B Dubs question. Ask him about B Dubs. Now I need to know.
So since Micah, we found out that he was.
Oh, yeah,
allergic to
this was a very
poultry.
awkward question.
Yeah,
The one person
since-
I've ever met in my life. By
That
the way,
he's
I've
allergic-
never met
allergic to
anybody
that.
else. I think he's
Yeah.
faking it. He might be faking it.
Yeah, I am.
you got to find out on the
Oh,
podcast.
yeah.
But as far as
100%.
chicken wings, do you order? Oh, hold on, let me rephrase this because Cannon got me fucked up. Do you think boneless chicken wings are chicken nuggets or boneless chicken wings?
He's gonna be thinking about this in the shower. Like,
He's gonna be thinking this
Oh,
while he's fucking flying F-16s.
Give me a second. Do I think boneless chicken wings are boneless chicken wings or chicken nuggets?
Yeah, because I've never
No,
seen a boneless chicken
No.
wing
I said
before.
no. A nugget is
They're
a shape.
hold on. They're neither. I don't think they're either. I think they're like chicken bites. Chicken nuggets are like what you get from McDonald's, the little fried things.
Like Wetzel
Chicken
pretzel.
wings are what normal people like to eat when they're eating chicken wings. You little greasy
Yeah, with
fingers and you get dirty and
Yeah,
chicken. That's like something wings. Buffalo Wild Wings
Yeah, like,
invented or
yeah.
something. I don't know.
exactly. Yep.
So
That's
we'll
not
put
a
that in
real
the same
thing.
category then as a chicken nugget. Like the fact that
Yeah.
that
It's in the
people are
chicken nugget
calling them
family.
that.
Yeah,
Exactly.
It's not a chicken wing at all.
Yeah,
Thank you.
exactly.
A chicken
that-
wing would insinuate there is some sort of wing in it,
Yep.
which there's not.
And,
So do you get flats or do you get drumsticks or do you just get mixed?
if I'm going to Buffalo, like B-Dubs or like a place that sells wings, I'm getting bone-in wing. I like the experience of holding my little wing and getting dirty.
Yeah.
The chicken bites or whatever the fuck we call them, the nugget family things. Those I'll get if I'm hungry. If I need to put food down, that's the only time I'll get those. Like I need 40 of these things just to like shovel in my mouth.
And that's what we were told too, is like when you get the chicken nugget or the boneless shit, it's like I need to get going. I need to jam. I'm getting this to go. I have to get back to work, or I gotta fly my fucking jet. Like you could just pop that shit in your mouth. You're not sitting there just fucking boneless winging it.
Them. I love them. I think they're great when you want to eat food like a lot. But when I want to sit down and have a conversation, it takes 2 hours to get your food at B-Dubs anyway. I want to sit there and for the next hour enjoy my bone-in wings. Right, Micah?
I think that's a conspiracy. By the way,
hey,
they won't drink.
I actually, Micah, I wanted to ask you this on the last episode, but I can actually ask both of you guys: is flying private jets or like is that something you guys would ever do? Is that something that makes a lot of money, like just being a pilot for somebody, or do you prefer doing what you're doing now?
I would. Okay, two things. One, it's a separate career path than an airline pilot. You need to know someone in order to get in that route. Kind of like stevedores that work in like docking, like ports, shipping ports that work the big cranes.
Yeah, we all know them.
You need to know someone to get into that. So it's the same with private jets. The only private jet that I would fly, like the only time I would drop my job and go fly.
Two? This is one or two?
This is two. This is two.
Two.
Sorry,
okay.
I dropped the fingers. We're on two. If Elon Musk was like, come fly for me.
Oh yeah, I would learn how to fly at that point too.
At Elon Musk.
Yes.
Yep.
At Elon Musk.
He's watching this. We all know he's here. What else is he doing? He renamed Twitter. He's a little bored now. He's probably
shooting shit at his cyber trucks.
I know, right?
Yeah.
Okay, final question. We asked this to Micah and he butchered this question. If you won the lottery, bro, your family's set for life. The 3 generations are set for life past you. You have your house.
You have 14 Raptors.
Yeah, you won the lottery, bro. What's one purchase? What's one purchase you would make if you won the lottery?
And don't invest your shit. You have to spend it.
Yeah,
I'm not investing my shit. That's ridiculous.
Who would say that?
I don't know. Some pilot we know.
You said I already have a house.
Yeah, you have a house. You have.
Think of something that you always wanted, like as a kid growing up. You're like, man, if I ever hit it big, bro, this is what I'm getting.
I've recently had a discussion about that. Okay, so if it needs to be an item, like a tangible item,
something that you wanted. Yep.
Man, gold dildo. You can buy an F-16. I already have a couple of those. I don't need any more. You could buy an F-16, but you would need an exorbitant amount of money to keep that going. Part of me thinks just a giant fucking boat would just be so much fun to own.
Dude, yeah, I like that. I like that answer.
A boat with people on it to run the boat, but also
a yacht.
I also think that like if I had that much money, the fun part would just be traveling without any restriction, just doing whatever. Like I think there's a whole other side of travel that normal people like us don't understand, which is like, the side of it, like we don't get
where the hotel invites you.
Yeah, or like you go into the hotel, you're like, give me the best thing, and they have this whole other. I think.
But by the way,
travel.
Yeah.
By the way, like just being able to drop that like black card on something, or like you said, just or not even like Micah said, like they invite you. You don't even have to pull out the card, so you end up just keeping your money anyways. You get what is it, conventions, and that'd be cool.
Just
events and shit.
That's what I'm saying. Like you go to the Taylor Swift concert, you're not paying $500 to be in nosebleeds. You're paying nothing to be behind stage because you just have so much money.
Dude, you get to meet actual Hannah Montana and Miley Cyrus at the same time.
What a great!
If it was between meeting Taylor Swift and Miley Cyrus,
I was about to say that.
Miley Cyrus.
Yeah.
So you'd rather meet Miley Cyrus over Hannah Montana?
No, I'd rather meet Miley Cyrus over Taylor Swift.
So, but if you had to meet,
much more interesting.
if you had to meet Hannah Montana or Miley Cyrus, who would you rather meet?
Like, are you talking about current? Like, if, if
No, I'm
current
talking
day
about
Miley Cyrus?
Disney Channel. Like
When
you were
when
on
you
that,
were
you were
Cyrus.
hanging out.
I want
when you were
I want the
watching at
modern
that time.
day, fucked up, like weird teenage year Disney girl Miley Cyrus. I want her now. I want to meet her, like shaved head Miley. I want to see her now, and I just want to
That's
pick her brain a little bit.
Yeah, now
See,
she's
what are
just
you about?
stuffy.
now
and
she sounds
looking
like
weird.
she's a fucking smoker for the last 60 years, dude. Have you seen the
Like a
interview with her?
droid of
Roger,
Star Wars.
Yeah, dude.
Roger.
Just like put
That's
the
the
mic
Miley
up in her
Cyrus I
throat.
would talk to.
My favorite
Could you
one
imagine?
though is she's what?
Can you imagine sitting at like 20 minutes at a bar? You're like, hey, you have 20 minutes to talk to this new age Miley Cyrus. That conversation will get so weird so quick.
Yeah,
There's-
real quick. Real
My
quick.
favorite. I was gonna say my favorite one of those Miley Cyrus voices. She's like, "It's only half the journey," and then it just cuts to a guy taking a massive shit.
I saw that one, dude. I saw that one. Oh man, guys, gentlemen, it was a pleasure hanging out, man. Thank you guys so much for coming on. And like I told Micah, you don't be afraid to come back on or ask to be on. We'd love to have you guys talk some more shit. But yeah, man.
He wants to be on for the Game of Thrones hot chick.
I don't know Game of Thrones that well. I don't have that much passion towards it. I just forget. I just left it in the dust. I don't think about it.
I'm in
anymore.
the same boat, so I think that'd be perfect. We could just like sit there and like
Yeah.
clown on these guys.
I know. I left
We'll
it
sit
in
on
the
this
dust,
side.
too.
This side over here.
Right. There we go.
Oh man. But yes, thanks again, guys. Micah, if you could tell them where they can find you, social media.
I know now that it's here.
This guy flies
time
your
I
planes,
didn't
by
know
the
that.
way.
I know, right? Oh man. And Austin, where can they find you on social media?
I'm Raptor Roach
Raptor Roach on Instagram.
Underscore Raptor
on
underscore.
Instagram.
Roach.
Well, I'm Instagram, YouTube, Facebook. I got it all.
Gotcha. And we'll leave all your guys' stuff in the description below. And yeah, I appreciate you guys coming on. Thank you.
Of course.
Cannon Camper, where can they find you, bro?
We ain't done yet. You guys can find me at the Cannon Camper on YouTube. You can find me on the Cannon Camper on X, and then you can find us at the Bad Thoughts Podcast. On Twitter. I don't know anymore. Just find us at the Bad Thoughts Podcast on everything. Go to Spotify though.
Guys, you can find me at Tones_TV on all platforms, and don't forget to follow the TikTok Bad Thoughts Podcast on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. All right, love y'all.
Oh, I'm looking the wrong way too. I don't fly planes.